Hi, I'm Tom Miggott from Tom Miggott Photography. The month of January has been quite fulfilling, I must admit, with the brand new tommygoodphotography.com that's out there. So if you haven't visited it yet, just go and check it out. You will see all the type of gallery with my work, whether it's wildlife photography, fashion, family portrait. The blog is now there, so when you used to go to tommygoodphotographyblog.com, well, actually you don't need to go there anymore because the blog is at tommygoodphotography.com. It's all under the same roof, makes it a lot easier. You can even see all those videos from YouTube directly from tommygoodphotography.com. I hope I've said it enough. So today, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about a lens that is considered by a lot of photographers as a classic of wedding lens. I want to talk to you about the 24-70 L lens Mark II USM, of course from Canon. So this is a amazing lens, absolutely perfect. It's obviously a 2.8. A 2.8 throughout, so really wide aperture. Look at this glass. I'm going to try to have some reflection here. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous, really. But the drawback, the price. Yes, the price. We're talking about somewhere around, on the internet you can have it for £1,500, but that's going to be the cheapest you could get. Somewhere normal price would be around £1,700. It's a lot of money for a lens. It's a lot of money, but it's an L lens. And you may have remembered me saying when I was doing the critic review, the weekly critic review last summer, you heard me talking about this race to fast lens, and people talking about 2.8, 1.4, 1.8, and you may remember me saying, well, you know, it's not because your lens can do 2.8 that you need to shoot at 2.8. And I even said at the time, remember that most of the time, in fact, if you shoot at 2.8, the quality of the image is not that great. So you're better off shooting at f4 or even f8. 2.8 wouldn't be that great. Well, guess what? When you deal with this type of lens, you forget about this. I'll tell you what, I've done a lot of photos in the past 48 hours. I've been shooting quite a lot, outside, inside, a little bit of landscaping, just on the behind portrait and so on. This, whether you shoot at 2.8 or you shoot at f4 or f8 or f13 or f16, guess what? Is bloody sharp. Not only is bloody sharp, it cuts you like a knife. There's no vignetting. I must admit, I've been using it on my 60D. Therefore, you would not expect vignetting anywhere because 60D is a cropped sensor camera, and so you're only taking the soft spot of your lens, so you don't have vignetting. However, nevertheless, this is a fantastic camera. Obviously, being an L lens, it comes with its hood. As you know, Canon's policy is, if you don't buy an L lens, well, we don't give you a hood, and we charge you a lot for it. This hood, I must admit, I love it. I love the how it clips. Here you've got a tiny, I don't know if you're going to see it here on the camera, if we can get some focus here. Yeah, here you go, you see it, it's right here. And all you need to do is you press and you twist, and look at this. All my other lenses, you just, when you put them on here, it's just not easy to put on. Look at this. And that's it. And of course what you see, you've got the red line, but hey guys, we know by now that we're not choosing the lens just because it's got a red line. However, once you have one, you know what you have. And what I mean by this is that, you know, I think when you start in photography and as you acquiring gears, and especially at the beginning, you don't know, you might be fighting against the budget, and it is always this dilemma of, okay, is that picture the best that I could obtain given the gears that I have, whether it's the camera or the lens. Would it be much better if I had the best lens out there? And it's always difficult to figure this out. I must admit, it's really tough. And my advice would be the cheapest way to address this dilemma is to rent. Guys, I can't afford this lens right now. I will in a few months, but right now I can't. So what I did, well, actually rented it. I rented it, and for those of you who are in the UK, I rented it from Calumet. I've bought some gear at Calumet. It's a really brilliant company. I love them. They're so useful. And so I rented it for the weekend, 50 quid. Yes, £50, 50 British pound, yes. So you know what? It's worth it. You rent it for the weekend, you have a go at it. And remember when I told you about a video on how to choose a lens? Go try it out before you buy it. Well, guess what? Go try that. Do your shoot, do the photography you normally do. And then you can compare it to a cheaper lens. And then you will see if the result is the same, then you're not yet ready to change gear. You gotta master what you have before you move on. And if you realize that, well, with this you get an amazing result, far better than the lens you have, then maybe it's time for you to upgrade and get a better gear to help you deliver better and faster and painlessly, if that's a word. So anyway, what can we say about this lens? Well, it's got the scale here, and the shortest distance is 38 centimeter. So 38 centimeter, basically it's from the sensor, guys. You remember, it's not from the front of the lens, so it's from the sensor, and that's probably going to be around somewhere around there. So it's actually pretty good, pretty decent. Suffice to say, if you start shooting at that distance, you don't want to be shooting at 2.8 big. Why? Well, because you're so close that your depth of field is going to be ludicrous. We're talking about something that would be probably, I don't know, 2-3 millimeter. That would be crazy. So don't even think about doing a portrait with that aperture. What you also have is the AF/MF like all the lens. The good news is, obviously, being an L lens, is, although you can see I'm on automatic here, but this is my focusing ring and I can turn it and it's smooth. Oh, it's smooth. It's just unbelievable. And you don't damage anything, unlike the other lenses, like my 18-135, for example. If I go on automatic, there's no way, on autofocus, I mean, there's no way you can do this. You will hear the cranking and you're going to damage your engine. It's a USM, meaning Ultrasonic Motor, and what it means is going to focus extremely fast and quite silently, so it's really good. Well, suffice to say, L lens, the back is pretty obvious. It's not plastic. The case is metal, so yeah, it's heavy. It's I believe it must be aluminum. It's weatherproof, so it's dust proof. It's waterproof. I wouldn't call it waterproof. I would probably say drizzle resistant. You know, don't go and throw it in the puddle. If it rains, it's gonna be okay, but I wouldn't risk it too much. But at least, you know, it helps you know, to protect you from dust or anything that could get into the lens. This is, so we saw the focusing ring, which is right here, and the second ring here is the zoom, so from 24 to 70, and this here is your locking button. So although, I mean, I suspect it's useful if you're transporting your lens and you want to make sure that whatever happened is just not going to extend, so it's actually locked. So you unlock it like this, so you see the button is right here, and then you just, as usual, here you go. That's how it looks when it's fully extended at 70, and bring it down, and you can feel the resistance, even the noise. I don't know, let's see if you can hear it. Yeah, you see, there is quite some resistance, enough resistance that there is no it's not creeping. So basically when you look at here, it's not going down. If I try to do this with my 18-135, to you guys, it's going down. It's nightmare. I have my black rabbit, my camera on my hip, and you see I just do 5 meters and suddenly just the lens start creeping. It goes down. It's not great. It's really not great. So that one obviously doesn't do it, but it's an L lens. So we all comes down to the price, you know, like I said, £1,700 for the lens. This is the Mark II. It came out 2012 or at the end of 2011. Great lens. There's still the Mark I out there. From what I've read, there's a lot of improvement. I didn't try the Mark I. You know, why would I actually try an older version of the lens when there is a better one out there, and I'm probably going to be able to afford this lens in a few months, or at least I can rent it. So no, I haven't tested the other one. This one is lighter than the other one. You will find my detail on my blog, so go check the blog page in the blog section of tommygoodphotography.com. The link is right here, and in the description you'll see some detail, the full description of the specs of that lens. So there's nothing else to say. There's going to be a few pictures at the end of the video about that I've taken in the last 24-48 hours with this camera, with this lens. Oh, I'm getting so tired. I've been shooting so much, and that's it. So yeah, some image coming up in a few seconds, and until next time, this is Tommy Good saying, if you like it, well, capture it with an L lens. Ciao.